Hey there, girlfriend. Today I have a special guest, Ceza. We're going to actually get into Pilates. So it's all about self-care today. And we will see you on the other side. Hey, Ceza girl.
Hello.
We are so excited to have you here. Before we get into how to transform our mind and body with Pilates, girl, we're going to get in your business. We want to know a little bit about you, who you are, who you serve, and how you serve them.
Cool. So thank you for having me on. I'm Ceza Ouzounian and I am a Pilates instructor. I've been teaching, well, next month will be 10 years I've been teaching Pilates, and I love Pilates, which is why I teach it. So I teach mainly women, but also some men, and I'm really recently got really passionate about working with pregnant women and postnatal women, having myself just had a baby 5 months ago. So I just want every woman to feel really strong and confident and amazing in her body, and Pilates gives her everything to be able to achieve that. So I just serve all the women who come to me so they can feel amazing.
Awesome. Well, girl, thank you for sharing that. Now, for everybody that's watching, Ceza is actually over in the UK, and she does her business a little bit differently, which is why I was so excited to share her with you all, because granted, she's in Pilates, and most of the time when you think about Pilates, you think it's in person, but she has been creative enough to do this thing virtually, which I thought was so cool. But before we get into actually how you do that, tell us a little bit, what is Pilates for those that are not really familiar with it?
Pilates is made up of 6 principles, looking at breathing, your core, concentration, precision, flow, and centering. So we're really thinking about all our movements starting in our core and expanding out, so that we're working the whole body, bringing balance to the body, improving our posture, allowing us to be in our fittest state so that we can get on with our life. It's working all the big muscles, the small muscles, and it's about bringing harmony to the body and allowing the mind to connect with the body. That's really important. So it's mind-body connection. You're not just moving for the sake of it.
Awesome. You hear the little guy back there. He's hears mama talking. He's rooting for you. That's what he's doing. So tell us a little bit about the benefits of Pilates. How would this really help someone that maybe is in a professional, has 50 million things going on, to really take care of herself?
So there's a lot of benefits to Pilates. You're working the body physically, so you're allowing the body to stretch in lots of different ways. So if you are sitting at the desk, for instance, or even if you're running around, your body can get stiff. So it's really about stretching the body in different ways. So at the same time, you're strengthening the body. So, if you're sitting a lot, your glutes can become weak and your hip flexors can become tight. So it's about strengthening the glutes and giving the hip flexors a stretch, or your core might become weak, or your shoulders might slump forwards. And it's just about working both with strength and with flexibility, and allowing your body to have some mobility so that you are feeling stronger and you're not being affected by your everyday habits. So if you're sitting at a desk, for instance, all day, that's really not good for your body. Also, another benefit is because you're focusing on your breath and you're focusing on your body, it stops the brain working. You are not thinking about the 500 million things you need to do. You're not thinking about, work. You're really just tuning into yourself and your body, and that allows you to de-stress. It allows you to clear your mind. And exercise gives you all those good hormonal boosts. So at the same time as de-stressing, you're allowing yourself to relax, to feel good, and to just feel happier. Another thing really good about Pilates is we're working the core. Everything we do incorporates the core, and that includes things like your abdominals, but also the pelvic floor muscles. And pelvic floor muscles are often so overlooked, but they are really, really important to our core health and to our body's health. And especially if you're pregnant, or if you had children, or you're older in age, the pelvic floor can become weakened. So it's really, really important to work on it. And Pilates is a really great way to work on it without having to always just think about the pelvic floor. You're thinking about the whole body as one.
Wow, yeah, I love it. Love it, love it. So tell us, I mean, you just had your baby 5 months ago. So how are you able to manage doing Pilates while you were still pregnant? Is that possible?
Yes. Yes. I think every pregnant woman should do Pilates. So yeah, I did Pilates until 2 weeks before I gave birth.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Obviously you have to modify the exercises. You can't, like, especially second, third trimester, you can't lie on your back, or you can't lie on your front, but there's lots of things you can do to do the same exercises but just modify them. And doing Pilates when you're pregnant means your core is strong, and those muscles are the ones that are going to help you push that baby out, but also you want those muscles to come back, you want them to come all the way back in once you've had the baby, so it keeps them strong, keeps them active. It also helps with the pelvic floor muscles, which again are going to be having a lot of pressure with that baby weight. Also, they're going to get affected if you give birth vaginally. So it really helps you strengthen those muscles. And again, it helps you relax when you're stressing or you're worried or you're whatever's going on for you when you're pregnant, because there's so many different emotions going on. So it allows you to just have that time for yourself. And it also helps with things like when you're in a back pain. I didn't have any back pain through my pregnancy, but I know women who do. So it helps stop things like that, stop back pain, allows you to be able to keep mobile, keep strong, keep flexible while your body's going through these massive changes.
Right, right. Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. That is awesome. So with all of that said, girl, I know that there are some kind of myths about Pilates too. Can you share any of those myths, whether they be good, bad, or good? Yeah, just kind of tell us a little bit about what are the myths of Pilates?
So there's so many myths. One thing a lot of people think is just for women, but it's not. Pilates was actually created by a man, Joseph Pilates, and he trained like military. He worked with soldiers, like rehabilitation, and he worked with actors, dancers, like men and women. So Pilates is for everyone. We all can bring some balance and strengthening and flexibility and mobility to our bodies. And men have cores and bodies, so it is equally beneficial to them as it is to a woman. Another myth is that Pilates is easy.
Okay.
It definitely is not. And I think people think it's more of like, oh, you just go and you stretch and it's just relaxed on the mat, but it's not. Yes, we are stretching, and yes, we're increasing our flexibility, but we're not focusing on just a stretch. We're focusing on strengthening the body. So often we're like strengthening one part of the body while we're increasing flexibility of another. And because everything is slow and we concentrate and we focus on it, you feel everything a lot more.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. And that's what we want, because when you feel it and you know what your body's doing and you can really focus in on those muscles, it means they're going to work properly, rather than just using momentum to rush through the exercises. Yeah, there's quite a lot of challenging exercises, and I like to challenge my clients.
Yes. So I'm curious, how do you do this virtually? Because I mean, I used to teach Pilates probably about 20 years ago, but I mean, I can just see in an aerobics room where I'm standing on the stage and kind of just talking and walking around the room, making sure people are doing it correctly, showing modifications in the moves for those that are advanced and those that are beginners. My mind is just like, how are you actually doing this virtually?
So virtually I have two options. So there's the live virtual classes. So it's basically similar to this. I see them, they see me, we all do it together at the same time. And which means I can see what people are doing and I can correct them as we're going along. The other side is the on-demand, where it's all pre-recorded videos. And with that one, I kind of preempt different issues that are going to come up. So first I give options. So this is if you need an easier option, this is a harder option. And I always make sure that I'm being clear that you do what is right for you. You're not pushing yourself to do something that's too hard, and you're also not taking it easy and just not doing anything that's going to challenge you. But I've been teaching Pilates long enough to kind of know the mistakes people make, and I talk them through it as we're doing the as they're going through the video. So I'll be like, oh, make sure you're not doing this, make sure your body's not like this, make sure you are doing this, look in the mirror if you can, what is your body doing? So yes, I'm not there to correct them in person,
right,
but I give them lots of things to think about as they're doing the exercise. And yeah, so far that's been working well. And it's for someone who can't get to a class, this is the next best idea.
Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah, I remember back in the day when we used to do the videotapes, you know, and I used to, I can remember down in we had a kind of a basement down in the home that I grew up in, and my mom and I used to do Jane Fonda, like I'm really dating myself right now. Jane Fonda and Jane Kennedy down in the video, down in the den where we did the exercises. So that was one of the reasons why I actually started teaching aerobics, because I was just so much into it, and it's definitely a part of my life. I really make it a point to work out pretty much every day. So that is awesome. So I know this is a common question I've heard a lot about, and it's always trying to determine what is the difference between Pilates and and yoga. Can you kind of enlighten us and tell us that?
Yeah. So yoga is really, really old. It's been around for centuries. Pilates is newer. It was created in the last century, there's aspects of yoga in Pilates, but Pilates is all about really focusing on the body and strengthening all the muscles. So we're focusing on the small muscles, the big muscles. We're looking at flexibility, strength, mobility. We're moving through the exercises. Whereas with yoga, it's a lot more about flexibility, about spirituality, getting your body centered and ready for like a meditation or spiritually connecting with the body. And even though Pilates has that mind-body connection, we're not doing the spiritual side like yoga is. We're really kind of tuning into our body and concentrating on how we can make it better, how we can make it stronger, more, bring it to its optimal position. Also, a lot of Pilates is about the core moving out. So everything starts in the core and moves out.
Right.
Whereas with yoga, it's different. And sorry, my son is making a grunting sound.
No, I told you he's rooting for you. It's all good.
So yeah, with Pilates, we're thinking from the core out, everything is working as one. And our breathing is different. So in yoga, you breathe into the belly, whereas in Pilates, we do what's called lateral breathing, so it's more into the lungs. And it's just a different type of breathing, a different type of moving the body. And we don't really hold poses, maybe like a plank or a couple of other things, but we don't hold poses in Pilates.
Right.
Yeah, I think.
Okay.
The main differences.
Yeah. I know. I guess one thing I can remember about Pilates is it's all about using your body weight. So you're not using weights when you're actually doing Pilates. So it's very much the inner strength. You're building your inner strength just using your normal body weight, which is one of the things that I absolutely loved. So I'm curious, when you're talking to your clients, how often can somebody do this a week? How many times can they do it per week?
Well, they can do as many times as they want.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I would say 2 to 3 times is great.
Right.
However, if someone can only do once a week, then that is better than nothing. The more you do it, the quicker you're going to see results. Just like anything, the more you do it, the quicker you're going to see the difference, the quicker you're going to see the benefits. But everyone has to fit it into their life. There's no point trying to do something every day. Eventually you're going to stop because it's too much. If once a week is all you do, that you are still going to see results, it's just going to be a bit slower. If you can do 2 to 3 times a week, even better. And there's so much to Pilates, you can really change it up, and you can use props, you can focus on different parts of the body. So yeah, it's always, you don't have to be doing the same thing. It can be quite different, and that can make a real big difference.
So when you think about somebody new to Pilates, what recommendations would you give them if they were just kind of starting out?
Don't worry. This is one that people always seem to worry about. Oh, I'm not flexible enough. I'm not fit enough. But don't worry about any of that. You come to Pilates to get fitter. You come to Pilates to get more flexible.
Right.
No one comes and is amazing right from the start. You're coming to improve on your body. Like, I'm not naturally flexible. All my flexibility has come from Pilates and just continuing to do it. Another thing I would say to beginners is, just because you can do something that's a hard movement doesn't mean start there. Go back to the easy and really focus on making sure the right muscles are working and work your way up. Because if you go straight to a hard exercise because you can do it, you may not be using the right muscles, in which case you could either end up injuring yourself, or you're not getting the full benefit of that exercise because you're not working the right muscles. So, and don't rush. A number of people I have in class who are just rushing through the movements. That's not what we want. We want slow and controlled and really focused. The exercise isn't going to finish quicker if you rush it. So take your time. If you go really fast and you're using momentum, you're probably not going to feel the muscles working as hard, and we want to feel the muscles working as hard. Saying that, if you need to stop and have a break, stop and have a break. I would rather someone came to my class and did 3 reps instead of 12, but did those 3 correctly, and each time they do it, they can build up and until they get to the 12. So quality is more important than quantity. So yeah, don't rush, take it easy, enjoy it. You'll advance at your pace, and if you really make sure you're doing it correctly from the start, it's going to be so much more beneficial later on, and especially when you come to do harder exercises.
So Ceza, tell us this, when somebody's just starting out, how long do you, I know you were talking about the reps, reducing the reps, but typically how long is a Pilates class? Will they be able to do the whole thing if they're doing it just brand new?
Yes, they would. So it depends. I like my on-demand classes that I do. They're usually about half an hour because people are trying to fit it in alongside everyday life. My virtual live classes and in-person classes vary between 45 minutes and 60 minutes. Whether you're a beginner or not, you can do the full class. If you need to take more breaks, then you take more breaks. So I've had beginners come who are really unfit and they just take it at their own pace. So they do the whole class, they just take lots more breaks than someone who's been coming a while. And that's possible. That's how they build it up. And yeah, you just take it at your own pace. That's the main thing.
Okay, so what are some common mistakes that beginners do in the beginning? I mean, that can be avoided and you would recommend that they avoid?
I guess I mentioned like rushing through exercises. Also, what happens sometimes when you start something like this and you are trying to tune into muscles that you maybe never felt before, and it can take time to connect, that mind-body connections. I had a client who he wasn't able to feel those deep abdominals because he'd never really thought about using them. So it took a number of sessions before he could really feel it. So even just thinking, okay, this is the muscle I'm working, this is what I want to do. Even if you can't feel it, just keep telling yourself that, and eventually you will start feeling those muscles working. And focus on what your body is doing. If you are new to Pilates and you're there and you, at the same time as doing the exercise, you're thinking about what you're going to have for dinner, you're then not really tuning into your body. You're thinking about something completely different. And we want you to really tune into your body. So again, so you can feel those muscles working and you are telling your body, this is what I want you to do.
Right.
Which is that mind and body connection, which Joseph Pilates talks about. Yeah, and take it easy. That's the main thing. I have people come in, they rush straight away to do the harder exercises because they think that they're going to get better results. But actually, if you take it a step back and really focus in, you will build it up in a much better way and get much more out of your body, and you will then be able to do hard exercises without injury because you know what you're doing and you feel up to it.
For sure. So tell us about I guess one of your clients, someone that really had just a true transformation just from doing your class. And they were just, you know, they started off as a beginner, not really knowing how to do much, and then they transformed into this person that became more advanced because they stuck to it. Just tell us, can you give us a success story?
Yeah. So I had one woman who came to my class, and so with Pilates there's a lot of exercises where we're lying down on our back, our legs are lifted, and we're working the abdominals, you know, whether we're straightening the legs or lifting the bum or like lifting the head. There's a lot of those kind of exercises, and she could not lift both her legs while lying on her back. And it took, I think it was about 10 weeks until both her legs were up and she was doing more of the more intermediate exercises.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and she just kept with it, and she went at her pace. And then by, like, I don't know, a year later, she had even joined like a dance class because she felt so much stronger in her body that she felt, yeah, I can go to do a dance class. And it's just amazing to see how her strength built up, and she was able to do harder abdominal exercises, how she was able to, you know, do glute exercises, do all the things that when she started she was not able to do. I mean, you know, she couldn't lie down and lift both her legs, and then she was doing exercise where she was straightening her legs, which is quite challenging.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So
awesome.
That was pretty amazing to see.
Yeah, I'm sure. That is cool. That is absolutely wonderful. So I know before we got started, you told me you had some kind of freebie that you wanted to share with the audience. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yes. So I created a 30 days of Pilates video series on YouTube. And it's basically, I wanted, especially for people who've never done Pilates, to try Pilates and see what it's like. So each day you get like a 10-15 minute video. I think there might be a couple of 20 minutes because I got too excited. But it's a taster. So each day we're working different parts of the body, like it might be glutes, might be abs, might be back. I've also incorporated like a small ball, different props, so you can really see the difference Pilates can do. And it's 30 days, so you get a video each day to just work the body. And you know, after 30 days, you can see, is this working for me? How do I like this? Is this making my body better? How do I feel my body? And it's just a really nice taster for someone without, you know, having, you know, if you don't want to commit to a classes just yet, this is a really great way for you to try it and see how it feels.
Okay, well, that's awesome. She gave that to us. That is so cool. So you can go to this website. We got it here on the screen, but we're going to also put it down in the description. So you can actually go to the website, check out these 30 days of Pilates. They're 15 minutes, girl, so you don't have an excuse for not being able to do it. You can put the kids down and definitely get into it. So that is so awesome, girl. Well, thank you for sharing all of your wisdom and your passion with us. And Ceza, and then for those of you that are watching, I so appreciate you taking the time to watch and get in touch with her. Find out more about what she's doing, because it's virtual, y'all. Y'all have no excuse. As long as you got a phone and probably a Zoom link, you're probably good to go. So thanks for watching, and bye for now.